Hey guys, and welcome to level 3 of the bonus level podcast. Thank you for being here. We are very excited about this week's show. We have an awesome show for you guys. We're going to be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4, League of Legends World Championships, the problem with terrible alien movies and space movies, as well as our normal segments for the week, and also coming back and touching on the 31 Days of Horror Challenge. I'm joined, as usual, by my wonderful hosts, Josh and Luch. Why don't you guys go ahead and say hello?
I am the almighty Joshua.
And I'm the lowly peasant Luch.
Thank you both for that. Thank you both. And thank you for joining us. And again, thank you guys out there for joining us. And before we even get into anything, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Well, I feel kind of depressed now that Josh just kind of threw my social status out there, but I'm doing pretty well.
He didn't throw you under the bus. He just put himself up on a pedestal. You could have came back and said, like, you're the, I don't know, the magnificent Luch or something
but
that.
Him stating how awesome he is made me feel terrible about it.
Well, that's your own fault. I'm just going to throw that back at you.
I can't help it that
I'll carry you with me.
You know what makes me feel bad? I asked you guys how you were doing, and you answered me, but you didn't ask how I was.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Damn.
Gosh, it's almost like you think we cares.
Right. You almost like you think we care.
But
I don't think
being
that was
as this a podcast
English,
and we have to come out as friendly. How are you doing today, Jack?
Oh, I am just peachy. Things are great. Things are just wonderful.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, let's move on. Actually, before we do get into our first little segment, I think it's only right and fair that we touch on a few things that we talked about last week. One being we've now passed the weekend and we had the fight that Josh talked about, right? And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you hyped it up. So what happened?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure anyone who was on social media saw at least tidbits of it because it was crazy. So I don't want to go into it too much. But so Khabib Nurmagomedov ended up winning the fight. But to speak my 2 seconds about it, that was insane. Did you guys get to see any clips or anything?
I did, yeah.
Of it?
I did see the highlights of it. From my point of view, it looked like Conor got his ass beat.
Here's what I saw watching the entire fight. Conor was doing his normal thing. He showed up to a fight. He, talked his shit, walked on stage, strutted his stuff. He went in there to fight, and he looked like a good fighter. Khabib was going to kill somebody. The look of anger on his face throughout every round, like there was no touching of the gloves. Between rounds, he didn't go back to his corner and sit down. He was standing up, pointing over at Conor's side and yelling. Like the second that, the next round started, like he was running and charging at it again. Like he did not go there to fight. He went there to kill him. Even when he tapped out Conor, like Conor tapped, Khabib didn't let go. Like he still was putting on like the choke and everything. The ref had to pull him off of him. And then of course after that, for anyone who didn't see, Khabib jumped out of the ring and literally jumped out of the ring to go fight Conor's trainer and coach and everything.
The correct term is cornerman. I was informed of that by my by a good friend of mine. Also, it wasn't a chokehold; it was a neck hold something.
Yeah,
I just know if I don't mention it, he's gonna.
Okay, good. Yeah, no terms I do not know. All I know is it was crazy the look on his face that those two guys weren't in the ring for the same reason.
Yeah.
Conor was there because he liked to fight and he wanted to pick up a good paycheck. Khabib was there because Conor pissed him off and made it personal, and he was in there to hurt him.
Hurt him, yeah.
Why did Conor make it personal?
Well, Conor that's what he does. He's a shit talker. He talked shit to the wrong person, and Khabib was like, no, like, most of the time in different kind of events or, whatever it may be, like this whole Eminem versus MGK thing, or even with Mayweather versus Conor or anything like that, they trash talk each other. They get in the ring, they fight it out. At the end of it, they hug it out and it's done. Like there was none of that. I don't know the list of what Conor said to him, but apparently something went a little bit too far and Khabib snapped. That was it was scary, dude.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw that just kind of sucks is that like the fight was a fight. Like Khabib's an animal and Conor lost, but they took it after that, right? And then you have all this bad press around the sport, which doesn't make it look good. And that's ultimately like what it ends up being more about instead of the fight.
I mean, I think that kind of stuff will kind of blow over, because I could tell you in the main card, like once it switched over to the pay-per-view, every single fight was awesome. I'm talking about comebacks in the last 15 seconds. I'm talking about like the Ferguson Pettis fight. Did you see the highlights of that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. We got to go watch that one after the podcast. Those two guys end up just cutting each other, like the little eyebrow cuts, the top of the head where it's just blood's pouring out, but they are smiling at each other and look like psychopaths. Yikes. It is crazy. It is so much fun. That fight was incredible.
Awesome. Well, there you guys, you have the update, and like I said, I saw the highlights of it and saw the aftermath of it. But apparently Conor wants a rematch at some point, so we'll see if that happens.
I would not recommend that.
Maybe he won't come out.
No, he's got this.
No.
So also touching on something from last week, how is your past 7 days worth of not smoking going?
It has been miserable.
Yeah.
It's been miserable, but I have kept it up. I am a man of my word. I will be hitting 1 week in 3 hours, so at midnight, and every single minute has been a struggle.
Yeah.
So hey,
that's good to hear though, man. Yeah. I'm proud of you for 1 week already. It's good.
Yeah. There were so many times this week where I was kicking myself going, why the hell did I agree to do this? It wasn't even like you guys pressured me into it. It was something I was like, this is something I want to do this. I feel strong about this, but I still hated both of you guys for this.
I mean, it's a win-win for Jack and I. So, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Either way, Jack and I will benefit from this.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I'm super happy that you're going to quit. I mean, if you quit, that you live longer, whatever. If you don't, I shave your head, and it's
whichever. So goofy bald, it's going to be hilarious. But no, I'm going to make it, and I can tell you the other thing that I'm doing, because it's crazy. My routine and my habit with smoking was wake up in the morning. The first thing I did was have a cigarette. Then I get coffee and have a cigarette. And then before driving the kids to school, I'd have a cigarette. Once I dropped the kids off at school, I'd have a cigarette. It was like that frequently I was having one. So my triggers were going off all the time. Hey, it's time to smoke one. Hey, it's time to smoke one. The only thing that helps get rid of that has been exercising. So when I exercise to the point that my lungs start screaming, like I need a break if I'm running or lifting weights or something like that, I don't want a cigarette at that point. That's the only thing that keeps me from wanting it. Not eating, not chewing gum, not doing anything else. So I'm going to look.
So can I ask, how long have you been smoking for?
16 years.
I have to say your voice hasn't really been affected by it too much.
You'd be scared to know what I would have sounded like if I hadn't smoked for the past 16 years.
You'd be picking up your kids at the PTA meetings and talking with all the other moms.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, dude, I'm going to be freaking ripped by the end of this 30 days because I'm telling you, the only thing that helps is working out. So all I do is I carry weights around with me all the time. And whenever I get the urge to smoke, I either lift weights or run.
He's that guy in Walmart that has the ankle weight bracelets.
Just doing
Josh, did you were you able to find the J-Dubs?
No.
Okay.
I gotta hit up there's a liquor store that I gotta check out that I'm pretty sure is gonna have it. It's a little bit further away, but I'm planning on going and taking a list with me and knocking them all out.
I don't know why, but I'm smelling the can right now.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That obviously brings us into our normal segment, the beer of the week, and I have another beer recommendation for you guys.
Tell us.
Do tell. So this week we are going to be tasting Luch and I, because Luch actually was able to get one, right?
Somehow.
We're going to be tasting J-Dub's Brewing Company's Passion Wheat, and it is a passion fruit and mango wheat ale, and it is excellent for a beach pool party or sunny afternoon. And now last week, Luch, you said that that it was like a kind of like a lighter but a decent beer that you could enjoy with some chips, I think you said.
A burger.
This one is going to be another right along those same kind of lines. It's not going to be anything crazy dark or thick or anything like that. It's going to be very, very tasty going in. It's a citrus ale. And just to give you guys some background on J-Dubs, it's another Florida brewing company. It's located in Sarasota, and they have all different kinds. And this is my favorite from there. So if you can find it, then by all means, definitely try it out. If not, whenever you visit the lovely state of Florida, you can look out for it. Luch, do you want to do the honors of popping it?
Yeah, and just a quick note: if you guys have trouble finding it, just look for a can that looks like it was made in like Miami Vice.
Yes, yeah, you're right. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the label on the screen right now.
All right, let's pop it.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
I like it.
That was still better.
Slurp it.
I'm swirling it like a nice wine.
That's not how you drink beer. Ooh, boy, that's good.
Man, that's really light.
Mm-hmm.
It's really light.
Okay, tastes like the pool.
Would you like a sip?
It tastes like the pool. All right.
So while
we're enjoying the fine flavors of the passion wheat and mango wheat, I think that it's time for our everybody's favorite segment.
It's time to pick some bones.
Take it away.
It's bone picking time, guys. All right. No, so this one was one that I came up with this bone, I don't know, maybe an hour after our last podcast.
Oh, no. He's been stewing about it for the past 7 days.
He's just been sitting on the toilet, just stooling on this thing right now.
So with this one, and I will have to say that, Luch, you and Jack are awesome people, but you are awesome people
to the
point that it made me mad at everybody else. Because with this, my bone that I have to pick is with everybody. For the fact of, after our podcast, we were still hanging out, talking about everything. Luch came back and was like, hey, I listened to your Artist of the Week. They sounded incredible. That was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And my mind...
It's true, I haven't heard it.
Couldn't wrap... my mind couldn't even understand the fact that I was like, wait, he actually listened to my recommendation. He listened to the band. He liked the band. Like, it caught me so off guard. I didn't know what to say. And it made me realize how many thousands of times that I recommended bands to people, or talked about songs, or, posted something, and it was just completely ignored, that I was so incredibly shocked by the fact that, Luch, you actually went out, listened to them, and then gave me feedback on them. It was
I thoroughly enjoyed Beartooth. Jack, by the way, thank you so much for the $10 for listening to that song. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like me and my wife went to go get a late night coffee, and she was hesitant about listening to it because she's like, what the hell kind of name is Beartooth? And I was like, I don't know what kind of music a band named Beartooth listens to.
What it is.
And we put on their song, I think it was Disease or In Between, and we were like jamming out, and we looked at each other and we're like, damn, this is a pretty good band. And we were like, listen to it. And now every day to work, I listen to like an album.
That's awesome. That's what's up. And this is something that, like I said, it made me so happy, but I realized the reason that I'm so happy was the fact I've been disappointed by so many people for so long.
So let me get this straight. Your bone to pick is with everyone
world?
else.
Everyone in the world
pissed
who
at
has
every
ever
single person
had
that
a
you ever-
friend
yeah.
recommend a song or something to them. Because I can say this, at least for me, the reason that you guys have me as the guy picking the artist of the week and everything is because music is something that's very passionate to me. So there are many times where instead of expressing myself, I will find a song that I feel like does it better for me. Because with these, a lot of times with songs or bands, like, these guys are legit artists. They're poets. Their writing is incredible and beautiful, and they are able to put things into words that I just don't have the talent to do. And so I may feel a certain way, but I don't know how to put it into words. These guys do put it with a song. I share the song with someone saying, hey, you should really listen to this. And they're just like, I don't like the song. It's like,
Yeah.
there's so much that you're missing there with it, that it's, as a person that feels really passionate about music, if you have a friend that's the same kind of way, that music is their life, they love it, and they recommend a song, maybe give it 2 seconds, listen to it, listen to some of the words that are in it, and see if maybe they're trying to communicate to you that way. That's my 2 cents. I think I've picked enough bones for the moment.
I agree with you. I think it's it sucks whenever you find something that you're passionate about and then you try to share it with somebody else because you think that they could either relate or that you want to like them to see or feel it too.
Yeah.
And they kind of blow it off along the same
76.
Nice. I along the same lines as what Luch said, Nicole and I were listening to. I played In Between because I feel like that's the one Beartooth song that kind of spans multiple genres, right?
Yeah.
You have like it's very sing-songy, so it's probably their like lightest song as far as that goes. To see if she would like it, so that maybe she would want to go to see them on the 17th next week.
Yeah.
And she actually said that she really liked it a lot. So even though she's not into heavy music at all, generally, she did end up, liking that song. So
sweet.
It's nice to be able to like, whenever you do share something, they can, actually grab hold of it, right? Just like Luch did, which is cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
perfect.
For sure. Well, that's awesome, and I'm glad that he could shed light on what you've been missing with your recommendations in the past.
It felt really, really, really good. So, Luch, thank you.
It's
Wait, this is like do I need to play like
good.
some like,
I was expecting that when he was
music?
talking about how they were poets. I was waiting for it. I was waiting on chives.
Yeah,
to chime in.
He wasn't paying attention. I don't think during that part, but we needed some like dramatic music because the bone to pick, which is normally very you're gonna.
But all right. So how about this? How about this? Quick bone to pick. All right, it's with you, Jack.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so this is really dumb. And it was like today, Jack came to visit. He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, by the way, I ordered pizza for you guys. Super cool." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I can't wait to enjoy some zuh." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What's zuh?" He goes, "You don't know what zuh is, bruh?" And then my manager walks in and he's like, "Dude, you don't know what zuh is, bruh?" And they're going between each other talking about zuh. I'm like, "What are you guys talking about? What's zuh?" And then Jack goes like, "It's pizza. You get it? Zuh."
No.
I'm like,
I didn't say that. I did not say that. First off, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's not zuh. It's za. You say,
sorry,
dude, do you want some za?
Sorry.
And then you didn't get it. So then I repeated myself several times to the point where I had to say, dude, don't you want a slice of za, brah? And then, yeah, I don't know why you're picking bones.
I'm just sitting there
picking with you and you don't understand what za is.
I don't know what this za is. I don't know what kind of foreign country you come from, but here it's called pizza.
Yeah, za.
Pizza.
You got some za, brah.
Some za, bruh.
Anyway,
za, dude.
You
it's like high school kids saying bet now.
You're telling me about how I'm pronouncing pizza, but you didn't even thank me for getting it.
I did totally thanked you for the pizza.
Uh-huh.
For
Was that before or after you were trying to figure out what za was?
Za, bro. Well, first of all, at that time we didn't have the pizza, so it wasn't corporeal. Okay, a thank you deserves a corporeal or tangible item in front of you. Speaking
of corporeal or tangible items, why don't we talk about something that's not tangible, something that's not even out yet? What game are we excited about this week?
Fallout 76?
No, that's you.
Oh.
Talking about the rest of the world.
But I think what you're referring to is this Friday's release of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I've never even heard of Call of Duty till now.
Oh, yeah? Not once, not ever?
It's not like there's been 12 sequels.
Not now, not ever.
But yeah, Call of Duty 4 Black Ops. Again, guys, if you haven't heard of Call of Duty, people who don't even play video games have heard of Call of Duty, so I don't have to have too much explaining when it comes to this game. However,
there is one
fun fact.
You heard of COD, brah?
You ever heard of COD, brah? You ever heard of COD, brah? Anyways, before Jack rudely interrupted. So, no, it's fine. It's fine. That's my next bone to pick. Anyways, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is, again, Call of Duty. You got campaign, you got your storyline, you got your multiplayer, what everybody looks forward to. However, there's one key feature that has been the talk of this podcast group since it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Blackout.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you two have heard of Blackout.
No, I don't think Josh has. Why don't you tell him all about it?
Kind of.
What?
It's like Titanic, man. Just
all right, let me lay this down for you, Josh.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh, I have lots of questions. I'm just waiting for you to get through your monologue.
We've
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, we've all heard of the venomous title, PUBG, or Player Unknown Battlegrounds. The game that's still in beta for how long? 8 years now?
Yeah, right.
How long? However long.
Almost 2-year beta process.
Yeah. Anyways, I think, Jack, you just uninstalled it.
I did. 100% fact. Uninstalled. Never playing it again.
Thank you.
Anyways, Blackout is going to be a battle royale. Okay, if none of you have heard of that, it's where a group of, I think it's like 100 or so people get thrown into a map, and then whoever survives wins.
Yes.
It's either you by yourself or with a team. Last man standing.
Or
right?
squad.
Winner, chicken dinner.
That's it.
Anyways. But Call of Duty, being that the polished and established game that it is coming out with their own battle royale. And from what I've been seeing, from me watching media, streamers, YouTubers, and especially since the beta came out and watching people play that, it looks very polished and very well done. The map is a little bit so-so, and I'm sure they'll come up with more maps and tweak it before the game actually comes out. But it looks insanely fun, and I can't wait to play it with you both.
Yes.
Because I know both of you are going to get it, Josh.
This is a yes. I mean, I'm super excited. Friday it releases. I don't get to take off any work to play it like I used to back in the day. The golden days of Call of Duty, and my YouTube days when that's all we did was just play and record it.
I used to take off the day that it was coming out.
Yeah.
Like I'd go get it at midnight, and then the next day I'd have off work so I could play from midnight on through the next day. And yeah.
Now the idea of having a physical copy of a game actually it hurts my soul.
Sounds
Yeah, I don't want the thought of having to go buy it. It's just no.
That's when you bought the crappy little media shelves from Walmart and put them next to your game station when you were 13.
Oh,
and you were so proud.
You guys, look at all my games.
Dude, I can't wait to play some Halo with you guys and enjoy some za.
Listen,
Zabra.
it's za, okay? Zabra.
All right.
Whatever.
So here are my questions, because I have definitely fallen out of touch. I was a big fan of Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. There was always, and this is where I'm going to screw all that stuff up. There were two different groups making the games, right? You had one group was making the Modern Warfare, the other one was making
and I think Bungie now has
Ward.
one.
No,
not Bungie,
no.
Blizzard. Blizzard's
No.
in charge of one now, isn't it?
No. Infinity Ward, right? Was
That
the
was
Modern
Modern
Warfare, right? And then you had Treyarch,
yes,
that was doing the Black Ops, right? So you still have Treyarch, Activision. I think Activision's over.
Yeah, Treyarch and Activision. But no, you can get Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on the Blizzard launch.
It's on BattleNet,
Okay.
but it's not.
Yeah,
but it's not made by Blizzard.
It's not made by Blizzard, but is it published now? I just saw that pop up, and I was
I don't believe so. I think it's just launching on PC under the BattleNet.
yeah. We'll see. My whole thing
you can still
was
get it off Steam.
the Modern Warfare games. Those I always, for some reason, they clicked with me. When I would play it, I could pick up going from 2 to 3 instantly start that one. Everything went fine. I'd have guns that I would click with and go, okay, this is my gun, and I'm gonna play with
style
this
is very,
one.
very similar.
For 100 hours, this was gonna be the gun I was gonna use. Black Ops, I never had that. Everything felt a little bit off.
What?
I could never find guns that I really seemed to click with and stuck with and everything. Oh yeah.
Shout out to the FAMAS from Black Ops 1.
No, like Black Ops 1, 2, 3, like
best.
I barely even touched, but I loved the Modern Warfare versions. So, I mean, it's been long enough that I haven't played, and I also played all of those on console. So if I get this one going to computer, of course, it's going to be 100% different, but I wasn't sure if the same people were making 4 as made like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's Treyarch. It's Vonderhaar, and I think it's Vonderhaar and all of those fun people.
Mm-hmm.
David Vonderhaar. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, but at the same
Chives,
time,
Chives, can we
I mean, I enjoyed what I could do on pub. The whole concept was really fun. I liked going and searching houses for 30 minutes and then dying to a person that I never saw. That was always really cool.
I didn't. That was awful.
So, like,
great gameplay.
I'm excited though if Black Ops can do that, but in a better, cleaner, less laggy kind of way. That would be incredible.
Look, the only thing I don't want and why I'm rooting for Call of Duty is I don't give a damn about realism when it comes to Battle Royale games. I don't care about bullet spread. I don't care about bullet drop. I want to be able to point my gun at someone and be like, hey, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because I shot at you from 1,000 meters away or however far it is with a pistol and they're dead.
Yeah.
All right.
To me, I mean, it wasn't any of that stuff in pub. Like my biggest issue was the fact of there was some kind of lag or desync. I mean, I upgraded my computer, I think twice, and then finally got a brand new computer playing that game and still would have issues where I would die, watch the death recap, and there's a person that would run into my vision on their screen. They could see me, but on my screen, I never saw the person. They were still behind the wall or whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad you're narrating the literal last game that I had. The whole entire reason why I finally uninstalled that shitty game after playing it in beta, for almost 2 years, where they've said, "Oh, we're fixing it." Yeah, I'm glad that you just narrated my entire last 5 minutes of the game's experience.
That was
never
every game I ever played over the past year.
It's just crazy. That doesn't matter how good your computer is. Doesn't matter how good your internet is. If somebody has a shit connection, they can connect to the game and beat you in a gunfight because their ping is higher, or whatever. They're not desyncing and you are. Vice versa. It's a terrible way to have a competitive gaming experience, especially when it comes down to a shooter where you're everything is being relied on as far as like millisecond reactions.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I don't know. I would say like that I am excited to see how everything goes with it. And potentially that would be a game that I wouldn't mind spending money on.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if it ends up playing out, the way that Call of Duty played on console, I mean, obviously you're going to run into the whole, lagging here, lagging there kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it runs smoothly graphically, where you don't stutter step whenever you're fighting somebody, or like we would run into the issue of like every time we'd go to get into a fight, we'd lose massive FPS.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not my graphics card, it's not my CPU, it's not my internet. So what's the problem? Well, it's the game. And so if you don't have those issues, if you don't have those issues, then I mean, Battle Royale is just an awesome gaming experience.
Yes.
It's stressful. It's anxious, but it's high adrenaline. It's fun, and then whenever you're playing in a squad, like you get all of the aspects of probably what we're looking for in like a regular Call of Duty, team deathmatch or domination game, but then in a more final game style, right? You die, it's over.
Yeah,
you have to start over. Whereas like, with any kind of respawn game type, you're right back in the game. So it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah.
So definitely
but I mean,
looking forward to it.
But I mean, like when you're playing a Battle Royale game, you spent your entire time getting to the top 10 and then, you're getting into the small circle and then you're in the top 3. Yeah. And then that third person dies. And they're like, oh my God, I can
1v1.
finally win this. And then as you're about to step into the middle of the circle, RNG isn't on your side, and then some random guy comes up beside you, the one who's been camping in the bushes for the entire game, and then just gets that one shot off you that's like...
Or if it's Fortnite, he is a bush. He's not in the bush. He is a bush. He's sitting there waiting for
I just can't wait for PUBG to say that they monetized the Battlegrounds gameplay, and then try to sue Call of Duty.
Good luck with that.
For that. Right? Yeah. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to to playing. It should be a good time. So Black Ops 4 is the first Call of Duty that I will buy in, I think, 3 or 4 Call of Duties since I gave it up.
One thing I do wish for, I hope they have a good cosmetic item shop, unlike PUBG. Like the stupid loot box system is the most
I don't mind. So let me. I like the idea of loot boxes because for gaming companies they can be very lucrative. The problem is that if you don't give them a way to be earnable without paying, right, and you hide certain things behind a paywall, it turns a lot of players off and is very discouraging.
Yes.
Like for instance, like with PUBG, they released all the streamer skins. You can get Shroud's outfit or Shroud's, KIR 98, or whatever it might be. You can get these skins, AK skin, but you can only get them if you pay for a specific box, and then that has this chance of opening it, or whatever. You can pay for
a very small chance.
And so that that's just very discouraging. I'm never going to pay for something that I have a chance to get at. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to earn it. So if you put it to a place where it's like where you can earn this crate and then unlock it, then great, perfect. I'm on board.
I mean, I don't mind spending $3 on a skin if I know what skin I'm getting.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't care about that.
No, for sure. I mean, that's just ultimately what League does. You can buy a skin if you want it. But other than that, it doesn't do you any good. Other than it's just cosmetic, and you have the choice to get it.
Exactly. No game needs to be pay to win. We're looking at UEA. No game needs to be pay to win. That shouldn't be a thing. That should never ever exist.
Yeah, or even pay to be random, right? Like if I'm paying for something that I have no idea what the odds are, and I just keep getting the same pair of white trousers over and over and over again in my crates, that's super disappointing.
I know.
Did you guys see that loot boxes are becoming? Do you see loot boxes are becoming illegal in some countries?
They're illegal. They're illegal in a lot of places unless the odds are posted.
We're looking at UEA.
Mm-hmm. You have to post the odds of what's inside. I have a 1 in 1,000 chance to get X or whatever.
Yeah, so. it's just ridiculous. But the amount of money that people will spend,
for sure,
on a ridiculous PUBG. What's that? The one coat. That
it's
ridiculous,
$800 or $900.
Yeah, it's it's ridiculous. And then they flood the marketplace with these coats, and then they have 72 available for sale, but they're selling them for $300.
Well, the same thing happened with Counter-Strike, right? All the skins in Counter-Strike, and we can go on and on about that forever. But the knife skins were so rare, that they ended up skyrocketing in price. That you get a knife for $300-$400, and then that encouraged a lot of gambling, which encouraged a lot of fraud, which encouraged a lot of all kinds of insider trading and all this weird stuff.
Yeah,
and then you had people getting arrested, and it's just okay, this is a video game. Hello,
I have CS:GO uninstalled on my computer, and I still get people friend requesting me, asking me for some skins or stickers or something like that. It's just ridiculous.
So anyway, so let's move on. So Call of Duty Black Ops 4 comes out on the 12th, which is only in a few days, 3 days from now, which is pretty exciting. So this weekend we should be playing. We might even this might be a time to plug the possibility that we may have our own podcast Twitch channel, right? To be streaming on.
And if any of you guys want to play with us, feel free to ask us. You can leave a comment in YouTube, or you can message one of us.
If any guys want to play with Luch, I'm sure he'd be open to it.
Any kinds. I take many.
And speaking of that, moving into another game topic real quick, and I'm just going to touch on this real fast, and I think Luch has a few questions about it. So the League of Legends World Championship group stages start tomorrow. Mm-hmm. If you are a fan of League of Legends, obviously if you play the game and you follow any of the playoffs or any of the esports scene of it, as far as that goes, you may have a dog in the fight as far as a team or something like that. But the group stages start tomorrow. 4 groups, 4 teams in each group, and this is all after the play-in stage, which occurred last week, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Play-in stage occurred last week, where the lower seeded teams actually have to play each other to kind of fight for a spot in the actual group stages. So that starts tomorrow, and of course we have all our hope in NA. Josh and I's team, our favorite team is Cloud9, and they made Worlds again for what is this, like the 6th year in a row, or they've made 5 out of the last 6 or some sort of weird stat like that.
I mean, they haven't missed it yet, have they?
I think they may have missed it one year where they didn't make playoffs. I'm not 100% sure, but that was 2 years ago if it was. But yeah, so our hopes resting in Cloud9, Team Liquid, and 100 Thieves made it as well. So if you follow that starts up tomorrow, and it's lasting for almost a month, I think. The whole championship, World's Championship, lasts for about a month.
Yeah.
I know. I'm excited for your guys' matching tattoos as well.
It's funny that you say that. Thank you for bringing it up. Go ahead, Josh. I'll let you.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were just talking about the fact that we're very hopeful that Cloud9 is going to go all the way, win the whole championship, easy peasy. And then when they do, we're going to get Cloud9 tattoos.
But there's a reason for that and why we can bet that, though, right? In the past 5 years, just to give you the people that don't really have any idea, in the past 5 years, the same 2 teams have won it. All 5 years.
Yeah, and it wasn't
one or the other. Yeah, it was not a team from North America. The North Americas have never even made the semifinals.
Yeah.
So you think this might be the year where they come up and be like, hey?
I mean, honestly,
every year.
Honestly, no.
Every year, yeah. I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go all the way.
Yeah. We have high hopes.
But I'm also willing to make the bet that I'll get a Cloud9 tattoo if they do win, because chances are 1 in a million.
Chances are it's not going to happen.
So let me just make this clear, and to all our many fans out there. So if Cloud9 wins,
yes,
right, both of you will be getting Cloud9 tattoos.
Yes.
Correct. Their logo
on places of my choosing.
No, absolutely not.
No,
because Jack, you will be getting it on the back of your head, and
no,
Josh, you'll actually get like a really, really small one. However, it would be underneath your armpit.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So whenever you go to the pool, people will know.
Yeah, I would do that.
Oh, but it would hurt.
No, it wouldn't. You don't even have a tattoo. You don't know what
my armpit.
You don't know what hurts.
Sir, I put a tattoo on myself a couple days ago, and it hasn't washed off yet. So I think you need to chill there.
Lucy, do you have any questions about Worlds? Because I know you're not like super familiar with the whole process and ordeal.
I mean, when it comes to League, I'm not very familiar. If I was to give myself a ranking, I'd be advanced novice.
Advanced novice, okay. So just
maybe even intermediate novice.
So just to give you an idea, and anybody that's listening that doesn't have any idea, there are many leagues around the world, professional leagues in League of Legends. So like when I say leagues, I mean like how you would think of like the Major League Baseball organization or the NBA or NHL kind of thing. There are many of those in many regions around the world. And towards the end of every year or every season, each league has championships, and they send teams from each of those regions to what they call the World Championships, where all of those teams compete against each other for a chance to hoist the championship cup, which is, they're the best team in League of Legends in the world, at the end of the tournament. And it's a super big deal, just because every year, we have North American teams that we send, and then they get crushed by the Koreans every single year, and that's just that. And every year it's the same story, and every year we get the same amount of hope built up, and then we have them dashed, and then that's
1 year.
Yeah, and then
1 year, guys. We'll get there.
Every year we say the same thing. I don't know why we root for North America, because we're disappointed every year, and then
but at the same
we're like,
time,
okay, it's
so
renewed.
like here's my thoughts on it. It's the same reason that I really love the World Cup. So like with this, most of like these regions that are playing with China and Korea and all that, they're in such different time zones. Most of their games, the regular season games, happen at times we don't get to watch. We don't get to watch them live. We can watch VODs or something like that. We can sometimes see highlights of different players, but we really don't get that full exposure that we do with the NA teams. So the World Tournament basically gives us an in with the NA team where we know all these players. We really like watching them. who are they playing against? Who also is in their group that they're playing against? I need to watch those games to see what the competition's like. And then you're like, oh my God, who is this guy? And then you look him up and you're like, oh, apparently he's, some super dude from, Korea that's killing everybody. And it's like, all right, now I'm paying attention to him because they're doing some cool moves. And you start finding your international favorites. I mean, with Faker, with Rush, with Impact, Piglet, Uzi. There were so many awesome people that we discovered while watching.
Are these their names?
These
are
names
these their
players.
usernames?
Some of their names, yeah.
Why do they sound like they try to be a rapper in the past?
I mean, they're more badass.
Young Korean
rappers,
kids that just kill everybody. It's just 1,000 times more embarrassing when his name is Piglet. And he will just absolutely murder you. But that's why I like these kind of tournaments is, you kind of get that nice introduction with having your NA team, but then you get to learn about so many amazing people in the sport when you do these bigger tournaments.
You just called League of Legends a sport. You're going to get so many people mad. Oh my God.
Esports is a thing, guys.
Pick your bone.
Hey, pick your bone. It's 2018. Esports is a real thing.
Yeah, dog.
So that starts tomorrow. I'm super excited to watch NA hopefully not fail. And, hopefully, how awesome would it be if I just get to, eat all my words and I have to get a Cloud9 tattoo? Yeah, I mean, that would just be the best. Not only would I be able to celebrate the fact that my favorite team won the World Championships, but then I'd have to get a tattoo to commemorate it. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think
not even mad about it.
Of my choosing.
I don't know. Oh, so
that I'm not agreeing to. Live on air, I'm not agreeing to that. What'd you say, Josh?
If they do, we will have a video of them getting those tattoos.
Yes, of course.
And me whispering into the tattoo artist's ear of what to put.
So anyway, so we're super excited about that. That starts up tomorrow. So I actually have a topic for you guys. So obviously, and this kind of ties into two separate things. So obviously, right, it was the Halloween month. It's October. It's my favorite month. I'm going through the 31 Days of Horror. And, first off, I wanted to touch on that first. Let's touch on the 31 Days of Horror first. So have you guys been watching anything? Have you been watching any movies? Any of the list?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Thanks for supporting my 31 Days of Horror challenge. I appreciate that. What about you, Luch? You been watching any scary movies?
None on the 31 Days of Horror.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
In
order.
In order. Hold on. Okay. Keep that in mind. However, when it comes to following 31 Days of Horror, you got to understand that all the time. Sometimes I can work late, and when I come home, I don't have time to initially watch a movie. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I definitely hear your non-support. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
No, but I did look up trailers for a couple of them that I wasn't familiar with.
Okay. So wait, you said you had questions, right, or something?
The main thing was, and this is how I'm a really crappy friend because I'm telling you that I didn't watch any of your first 9 movies, but then I'm asking you about the fact that you did watch the trailer for the one I was talking about, The Signal, and I was wondering if you were able to find that one.
I haven't found it to watch it. I watched the trailer. It looks interesting. I don't remember ever watching it, right? I remember hearing about it, but never watched it.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like that was a small indie film.
I didn't look for it, though. So I didn't really look for it to watch it. After I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, it looks interesting. But I have so many, right? I have one each day, and it's really hard with working and everything else going on to actually sit down and watch a full movie. Most of the time, we have time to watch like a show. And speaking to that, like Nicole's been great with some of these. She doesn't even like horror movies, right, at all. And she's actually sat down. She watched Alien. She watched Scream with me. We watched The Shining last night, which was actually out of order. Shame on me, but it was one that I substituted. I'm flip flopping the days because she was willing to watch that one instead of the one that was on deck for. The other night.
I got you. Yeah.
So. Yeah, so we just flip-flopped whatever a little bit. And so she's been super great about that. She actually took the time to make her own Halloween challenge.
Yeah.
Right? And it's for people that don't like scary movies. So it's called the Semi-Spooky challenge, and I think it's up to eight films. It has films like like Casper,
Hocus Pocus,
things like that. Hocus
I
Pocus,
guarantee she stole
Idle
that from
Hands.
Hallmark Channel because they were posting their own that was like the super PG rated like Halloween movie.
She definitely didn't steal it from the Hallmark Channel, but it's definitely for the people that aren't really into horror movies that just want to
that personally,
get in the Halloween spirit, but not really be scared.
My horror movies, but at the same time, I really enjoy stuff like The Addams Family, like those kind of things.
Just stuff that's just like dark and gothic.
Freaking
kind of.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice is definitely going to be one that I watch this month. It's not a horror movie. It's not going to make your list or anything. But to me, that's like my Halloween movie. That and The Addams Family. I'm definitely watching those this month.
For sure. And so anyway, just to touch back, like I said, on the 31 Days of Horror, it's going well for me as far as that goes. I love doing it every year. If anybody is following along, even if you're watching ones here and there, we had somebody reach out to us on Instagram and ask us about scary movies, and that was awesome. So hope I was able to help with that. But so that actually brings me to my my actual topic for this week. So I wanted to bring this up because on I think it was day 4 or 5, Alien, the 1979 original Alien was the movie that we watched, and Nicole actually, she decided she was going to watch that. She had never seen the original before, and in my opinion, it's not a scary movie. It really isn't. It's a thrilling movie, sure, and there's some a little bit of like suspense, and obviously the alien's creepy, but I watched it, and it's 1979, and obviously the graphics and the special effects at the time were awesome. And you have classic scenes like the alien busting out of the man's chest, on the table, and it was the classic scene. And if you read anything about it, you actually will find out that the actors actually didn't expect it to happen like that. So some of the reactions on film were actually realistic. They actually were like really surprised at it, which is really cool. But what it did for me was it actually brought something to light that I think that I've known and have been annoyed with for a long time. So I have a pet peeve with really bad writing when it comes to movies. Now, if a movie is written very poorly to the fact that it knows it's written poorly and it just like doesn't make sense, that's one thing. But whenever a movie is positioning itself to be taken seriously, and then it has very lazy or crappy writing to work the main characters in and out of the story, I find it very, very distracting and hard to keep myself in the movie. Now, specifically with alien movies, space movies, alien movies, and now specifically talking about... Is
this only like space horror, or is this
No, space horror in general. Space horror, because in most other like space movies, you don't really like run into this kind of thing, although you do a little bit. So there's some reason, and I don't know if it's just the way that the genre is for space horror and that kind of movie, but something happens whenever the characters go out into space that they lose all sense of what is rational. They have no common sense, and they avoid every protocol, like operational instruction that they've ever been given. So to even get into space, I know these people, and obviously again, fictional, right? Okay, whatever. But these people have passed every astronaut test in the book. They've been given all kinds of rundowns on what to do in this situation, how to follow, protocol in this, blah, 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 down the line. But yet in every single space horror alien movie, okay, it follows the same exact outline almost. They go into space. They have a mission. Whether their mission is to find life or not find life, or they're just doing a mission, whatever, they always find life. They somehow get life back on the board of their ship. And instead of quarantining / killing that one person that is infected / has the alien / is wanting to bring the alien on board, they ignore every quarantine protocol, common sense item that they've ever been taught, and they let it on board. Normally you have the one guy that's like, we need to kill this motherfucker. And everyone's like, no, don't be like that. We need to save him. And yeah. Every single time they put the one character and their life over the rest of the crew and the rest of the universe. They're like, oh no, that person, we need to save him. You can't just incinerate him out into the galaxy. No, bitch, you can send him out into space.
Hold up, Jack. Jack, mind-blowing theory here. Did they predict 2018?
What do you mean?
Think about it, right? So as you stated there, they only care about the one person who is about to destroy everything, right? Breaking all protocols. That person, whatever he did to get the alien stuck in him. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Broke
so whether it be face hugger aliens or did whatever they did, had some feisty relations with some alien broad.
All right.
They brought some kind of diseased alien onto the planet, right? And then that one person, as Josh stated, goes, hey, quick question. Why are we going to kill this guy? He's obviously a crucial member of the team. I might have a crush on him, even though I'm the one-sided relationship in this movie. And I'm the next person to die, except I don't know that. But we're still going to save this guy, and then we're going to bring the ship back to Earth so we can get medical attention for this guy, without knowing that everybody will already be dead by the time.
Yeah, they've already sealed everybody's fate. So wait, how are you relating this to 2018?
Oh, that's just how I feel like the world is.
Oh, got you. Okay, so you're just comparing it to what's going on in society today.
It's right now. It's all for one for all.
Got you.
Or not. It's all for one, not one for all.
Maybe they did. I think maybe that's just like maybe that's a more telling explanation for the state of our human nature. Right? Is just to not be rational, to make the wrong decision at every turn. Right? But like. And that's you're probably right about that. But going back to the actual, like the issue with the films, right? So in every situation, in every scenario, and it does vary, it does differ with the different movies and different franchises. What the problem is that why isn't there better writing to figure out how to either get the alien on board, get the alien into a more demeaning or more like dangerous situation than having one person jeopardize everybody and then one other person say, no, yeah, that's the right thing to do, while the one rational person is like, hey, this is not the right thing to do. We should kill this thing and not let it on board.
Yeah.
So I just watched a little article with George Lucas, and he went up on the podium and he was like, all right, folks, we're going to bring you the world's first realistic space horror movie. It's going to be 7 minutes long, okay? What's going to happen is the man's going to get infected with an unknown space virus. They bring him on ship, and then they eradicate him with flamethrowers.
No, really, honestly.
And that's the end.
And that's the end of the movie. Like at every turn, there's a guy outside the airlock. He's knowingly infected. Either you can see it, or it's showing up on the scan, or he's like an alien. He has a thing attached to his face that looks like a parasite with a tail that's choking him, right? And they're like, oh, let him on board. Don't let him in. They're like, no, quarantine says we have to leave you outside. Oh no, you got to let us in right now. No, I really think we should leave you outside. No, you have to let us in right now. Okay, we'll let you in. And it's like, what? Just blow them out into space. End of story. That's it.
Hold on, Jack, real quick. So, did you see the movie Life?
Yeah,
I know you've seen the movie Life. So, my one thing that you said in that movie, Ryan Reynolds, my favorite actor in the whole wide world. He's my husband.
Now we know.
You remember the part where, like, I forget what the actor's name is. He got like his hand stuck, and then Ryan Reynolds goes in to help him, and then I forget the other actor's name. It's escaping my mind right now. He shuts him in the airlock, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't."
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal like shuts him in, right?
Yeah, and he's like, wait, why aren't you open the door? Let me out. He's like, no, man. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You screwed yourself. I can't do it. Like, I'm pretty sure you were sitting in your chair and you're like, this guy.
No,
he knows what's up.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the issue. Why did Ryan Reynolds go in there in the first place? Tell me. Why did he open the door and go in? There's no defense.
On his defense,
there's no defense.
The guy was like a little tiny tentacle monster.
There's no defense in that situation. And the what's her face? Who was the captain? Was it Charlize Theron in that one?
Wasn't it the same lady who did like The Martian?
Rebecca Ferguson?
I don't remember. Anyway, I don't. The main girl character who's like the captain who was like in control of everything.
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see that one. Is
right.
it? What do you guys think? That one good enough that I should watch?
Is it worth a watch? It's okay, but it falls under the same exact principle of what I'm talking about. The guy,
It ends the way Jack
Okay,
expects.
so
the
I'm going to
Space
give
War.
my
It's
2
so
cents
stupid.
on so much sci-fi and why I'm particular about it, but then at the same time, I shut off my mind when I watch sci-fi. Is like with the Matrix movies. When everyone watched the first Matrix, they were blown away. It was incredible. The storyline, the action, everything was awesome. The director's like, all right, we're going to make a second one. Everyone loved all the bullet dodging and stuff like that. So we're just going to do that like crazy in the next movie. And it just tanked because they didn't realize,
work.
no, that wasn't, I mean, we liked having that aspect, but we liked having the powerful story and everything with it that made it work well. Like it was the balance between the two. And so much of sci-fi is just, let's pour tons of money into special effects. I think that they've said that it's like, it's almost more expensive to shoot the movie than it would to actually send a crew up into outer space with a camera, which is insane.
And I don't disagree with you, Josh.
Yeah.
However, like I feel like there's a very big line between space horror and sci-fi horror. One reason being is, first of all, I can count on one hand how many space horror sequels there are. Okay. And I thought Alien 2 was a lot better than Alien 1 to begin with. I thoroughly enjoyed Alien 2, especially all the different aliens, especially those who've played Alien Extinction. If you haven't played that
Isn't
game,
it Isolation?
horrifying. Oh, Isolation. I'm sorry. You're right. Isolation. Anyways, but one thing I can say is like, for instance, movies like the one with was it Sandra Bullock, where she was like in space, she was an astronaut. That wasn't a horror movie. That was more a thriller, but that had like a cool take on a space movie, especially like hearing nothing.
Gravity,
and then
right?
Rocks blowing apart your ship. Yeah, Gravity, exactly. I'm never talking to you about Gravity again. Real Gravity. Anyways, the thing about space horrors is you can count on one hand how many sequels there are. Most of them just aren't that good. There are definitely a lot better video games than there are in terms of movies out there revolving around it. But it's kind of hard to take a new take on a space horror. I mean, as Jax, pretty much says, they're almost all the same.
The problem is, it's not even about it. They're not taking a new take on it. They can do the same sort of story. Like the whole alien thing is cool, right? There's who knows what's out in space, right? So you have that whole play on that. The problem is the way that they write it, and that's what I'm getting at is that it's such lazy writing to use the same plot hinges to turn the story to where they want it to go, and it just doesn't make any sense for me. Like I understand what Josh is saying about like you turn your brain off when it comes to that stuff.
Gorgeous.
The problem is
now with 2018,
sure, and
the
it's
kind
cool
of stuff that they're
and
able to
exciting.
do. It's like I just sit there in awe, like oh my god, this is beautiful. Like I want to see this planet. I want to go out in space.
Yeah, my problem is that whenever that movie is you're watching it and you're trying to get in there and you're trying to be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Then you have the stupid idiot captain that's like, oh yeah, we'll just let the guy on the ship. Oh yeah, I know he's infected. Yeah, no problem. It'll be fine.
First of all, like it's never the captain that leaves. It's always either the engineer, okay, or like some kind of mechanic. It's always the engineer or mechanic who always leaves or ends, and there's always like the one with the most common sense.
And that's the thing is that like, it's hard for me to stay in the zone whenever somebody is making a decision that's so clearly against anything that's common sense or what they've been taught. Quarantine wise, like I can't even go. Like I can't go to Target and buy Mucinex without getting carded. Okay, that cashier will follow protocol every single time. She looks at me like, do you have an ID? And I'm like, do I look like somebody that's making meth? Like, am I going home and like cooking this up? Like, really? I have to show you my ID. I'm here. I am in Target, and you. Yeah, that's true. Every single time I go to Target, you will card me for medicine, but yet the NASA space crew that finds alien life on another planet just throws all protocol to the wind and just like, yeah, I know, I don't care what the book says. I'll let the alien
they need to have a Star Wars intro with a little paragraph that says, in the year 2027, the world has evolved into such a state to where nobody has to worry about their self-being ever again. As these brave astronauts venture forth, who knows what they will discover and bring forth with them. just more beneficiaries or whatever.
Just do whatever they want. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Society has developed to a state where they don't have.
All
to
I know
worry
is
about
I'd rather have this dumb astronaut explorer at the line in Target, and you send the sweet old lady that's ringing me out up into space, because she will definitely not let the alien back on board. She be like, it says in page 6, paragraph 1, line 3, that if an alien life form tries to come back on board, we keep the airlock shut. It says it right here. I'm sorry. Is there an alien life? Yeah, sorry, we can't let you in. It says it right here.
So Chives, we're going to need you to send a letter to NASA that they need to hire Tiffany from CBS.
No, it's Nancy from Target, Clearwater, Florida.
Shout out to Nancy, Clearwater, Florida.
Anyways, yeah. So that's I'm all riled up
quite
now, because that's just
you definitely should have played the jingle.
Maybe I needed the bone,
because I think your bone was much more heated.
Sends a strongly worded letter.
You know what's even better? So I have one more tagline to end on to end on this. And I kind of have a new segment, and it's not really an official segment, but I watch so much TV and movies like every week. During whether it's I'm doing something else or working on actual work stuff, playing games, whatever it might be, that I see a lot of stuff as it's coming out, and I like to recommend things, right? So people ask me like, hey, have you seen this? Yeah, of course I saw it, or whatever. So I want to take some time every week to kind of like throw out some things that I think you guys should watch and things that you shouldn't watch. And this week I just so happened to have another thing that I would never ever recommend ever. And I want the hour and 43 minutes back that I wasted on it. I have a love-hate relationship with Netflix. Netflix has great shows for the most part. They come out with some really original stuff, and then they go and they try to make movies with the same kind of budget, and they're terrible. I.e., Bright with Will Smith, terrible movie. Don't watch it.
I thought it was great.
Absolutely awful.
It was not that bad.
You guys,
yeah, Josh,
you guys.
Jack has
every other Netflix movie that I've watched, or Netflix original, terrible. And I can go through an entire list, but I'm not going to do that. It's fine. So my point is, every time they come out with a new one, I'm like, okay,
what to watch, what not to watch. I finished my Maniac. Yeah.
Ugh.
As we know, Jack.
So I'm
loves
saying,
that
like,
show.
I'm at the point now. I finished a lot of shows. So if you got a show or a movie, you can give me your recommendations.
Oh, I'm gonna give you one to stay away from, okay? And if you want to, and honestly, and this could even be like a challenge, right? If I throw one out there to say, "Don't watch this," you can watch it and then be like, "Wow, you were really right. I wish I got that time back." So another Netflix original movie came out. I think it was released right at the beginning of October, or right towards the end of September. It was called Hold the Dark. The trailer looked very, very creepy. It has Alexander Skarsgård. It has the guy from Westworld that you like really a lot. Yeah.
Super awesome.
He's also in Casino Royale. He plays what's his face from the CIA or FBI. Anyways, it would look super creepy. It's about supposedly a boy gets taken by wolves, and he goes up there to try to find the boy and recover him, either bring him back alive or kill the wolf that took him. Or yada yada yada. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it. I do want to spoil it because it's so bad. Long story short, wait, are you going to watch it?
I don't think so. And I can give you my 2 cents just from the trailer. Like, when I watched the trailer of it, what I didn't really understand and what kind of put me off of actually watching it was the fact. So I watched the trailer. Looks like the kid gets taken by wolves, so they hire this guy to come take out the wolves. And I'm like, okay, well, that, like, normally in these movies, like, you have a killer or someone, they're coming in to chase the serial killer that's killed a kid. These are wolves. Like, this dude's just going to hunt. Like, I don't get it. And so to me, like, I was kind of turned off and didn't even bother.
All right. So for anybody that's planning on watching it, you can just know that I don't recommend it. If you decide to skip this part and still watch it before the spoilers, that's all on you. So spoilers ahead. The movie isn't about wolves. Okay. Well, it is and it isn't. So they give you the premise on, like, this woman's son is taken by wolves. Her husband, who's Alexander Skarsgård, is off at war. He's not around. The boy disappears. She hires the guy. He comes up. He's a writer. He has killed a wolf before. He's hunted. Blah blah blah. And you find out very shortly into the movie, very very quickly into the beginning, that the lady is crazy. She's insane. She's like part demon, part like, she's just weird. She killed the kid. She's the one that killed the kid. So she strangles the kid, keeps him in the basement. And you find out a little bit later that she did it as like a motherly instinct, because it's in the middle of Alaska. It's very dark. It's very cold. They don't have a lot of food. And she's worried about survival. So she kills the kid so that the kid doesn't have to suffer and she doesn't have to feed it.
So was she like playing?
No,
was she like trying to find it? Or did she like forget that she killed her son?
No, she knew for sure. She wanted him to come up there so that he could he could write about it and be a witness to the whole thing. But she played this whole story of like, this is what happened. She sent him out into the woods to try to find the wolves. He runs into the wolves and he sees the wolves eating one of their cubs to survive. And then that starts this whole parallel thing of like, oh wow, so now the lady's killed the kid. Then the dad comes back, finds out the kid's gone. He goes after hunting the woman now, because now his wife killed their son. So he goes off on a murderous rampage, kills everybody in the village looking for the wife. Okay. Makes no sense at all. Doesn't make any sense. You just start shooting people. Goes off into the woods. He's crazy too. You find out he's
like PTSD,
literally insane himself.
Okay.
No, like literally he's insane. He's like, there's something like, you find out like something either supernatural or spiritually wrong. Like since he's been a kid, he's just been off. His dad like took him to a medicine man trying to get him fixed because he's just been unnatural, right? Weird. And then the same thing, obviously, with her. She killed her son and then ran off into the woods. And so it's this back and forth thing. And long story short, he finally catches up to the woman, but instead of killing her, they make up and they go to make another baby. And then you find out after that they're actually not only husband and wife, but they're brother and sister.
Oh,
and
hey,
the whole
Game of Thrones.
the whole point of the Hold the Dark is the fact that these two crazy people that are like either possessed or they've just been like off since birth, or have had this incestuous relationship since they were little, and because of that they act like a wolf pack. They act like they're so close to being like wolves themselves that they're willing to kill their own kin to survive and continue on. And so it literally ends with the writer. He's in the hospital and he's going to write about the story, and the two of them are just off in the wilderness.
That's
making
weird, because I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention when I was watching the trailer, because like I said, I didn't get it.
No, if you watch it now after me talking about it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, weird. It doesn't.
I just had this feeling. I was like,
there's more about people.
Normally with these kind of movies, or what it originally gave me the idea of, is that they're hiring this guy to go out and find the killer. Because I watched one like that the other day, one with Jeremy Renner. I don't know if it was out in the snow or whatever. I can't remember what that one was called. It was freaking cool. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, in that kind of situation, he goes out like hunting who killed this girl out in the snow. So it kind of gave me that same feeling. But this one, they're like, we're going after wolves, and I'm like, okay, well, there's no like serial killer there. It's animals.
Wolves have very, very little.
I don't know. I just wrote it off after seeing the trailer. But the way you described it actually made it sound a lot cooler. But then the fact that you're saying that it's not, I don't know, because when you're talking about it, it actually sounded kind of cool. But or at least it sounded a lot cooler than what I was originally thinking from the trailer.
Yeah, it was very, very disjointed. It didn't really make sense. The story writing was not good, and ultimately, whenever you have a conclusion to a movie, even if it's an open-ended conclusion, you still want to be resolved about like how you got there, and you just get to the place where it's ending, and you're just like,
I got it.
Okay, like I like why, So my recommendation for this week is to not watch Hold the Dark. And Netflix, if you're somehow listening, please just do better with your
30-second breakdown of why you didn't like Bright, though.
30-second breakdown of why I didn't like Bright. A lot of
You know, he doesn't deserve that. Give him 10 seconds.
I'll take 10 seconds. A lot of the same reasons. The story, there was no setup. There was very little meat to the story. You didn't get any sort of actual like description of what's going on. And then even though there was a concluded ending, it still was just very like, okay, it's not satisfying. Acting was subpar. Will Smith has done a lot better. He was okay, but the other guy was not so great. It was just way over exaggerated. And this is another thing about that movie. And normally, I mean, the way people write it and, you know, amount of language and cursing doesn't really, it is what it is. That movie had an insane amount.
I don't hear
of
that
F-bombs.
Stuff anymore.
Like
so
literally every 2 seconds. I'm not, like I said, normally it's like whatever, it's rated R, like no big deal. But it was to the point of like, okay, like, you know, whenever you're talking to somebody and they're like, dude, I mean, like, dude, like, and they just say the word dude, like or bro, or you know what I mean, like bro, it's like doing this, bro, and then like, yeah, it was like that only with the F-bomb. And I mean, again, you talk like that, whatever, like it is what it is, especially, you know, in movies. But like when it goes overboard and it's almost distracting from the actual script,
30
that's
seconds.
a problem.
Well, anyway, so in my how I felt about it, I thought their biggest mistake that they made was turning it into a movie with so much potential. Like, exactly.
Oh, that was a show.
They
I probably
had to
would have
skip over. Like I enjoyed the movie.
viewpoint.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It was just a fun fantasy mixed with reality stuff. Like, I liked the way that the orcs were. I love the fact that they loved heavy metal.
Yeah, it was
like
cool.
the different sprites, the special effects in it were cool. It had that fun little buddy cop banter. You know, I hadn't seen a good one of those in a while. So like all those things were kind of fun. But oh my God, there was so much backstory that they had to leave out. And that was super disappointing.
Yeah, there's way too disjointed.
There was, but one thing about Bright that I really like, that I like in any other like fantasy or sci-fi movie, is my favorite part in any movie is like, or in any movie like that is when the hero journeys and gets the magic sword and then he becomes the hero type of thing. Like the wand had a cool aspect to it that I liked. And then, you know, at the end, you know, Will Smith is like all, you know, wields it. But then like at first, like the orc or was it the orc?
Yeah.
The orc died and then was risen by the girl, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, you got like, or sorry, any spoilers that were given to people who haven't seen that, my bad. But it was cool, and I like that kind of stuff. Like, you know, like anything revolving around that just you know gets my
blood blown.
My jingles again.
A real quick shout out to us on Instagram. We just hit 100 followers. It's only been 3 episodes.
Oh, did we really? Hey,
we're already at 100. Great. Thank you everybody for that. Yeah, so that's your 30 seconds. I had more than 10 seconds, so sorry about that. But
yeah, that was way more.
But yeah, so let's move on to the artist of the week.
All right.
Wow.
No, you caught me.
What? You said you won't even start it until I do the
pull up
jingle,
our
so you're going to get the
account,
jingle.
'cause I was like, man, they really have more followers than I have, and it's only been out for like a week.
And then Jax just takes this podcast down the road. It doesn't need to go.
So yes, this week, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed last week's. This week, I'm going to be talking about a band that is very close to my heart. This band is definitely a lot heavier than the last band, so it'll take a little bit more of maybe a little bit more of an acquired taste to get used to them, depending on if you like the harder stuff or whatever. But I'm going to kind of go into the reasons why this band speaks to me and why I'm a diehard fan. Yes.
And Josh, just hang on 1 second, man. And like when you told me this band, it got me really excited. And I just want to tell everybody what this band is.
Everyone's already heard of them.
Nickelback.
This is not new news. I'm talking about the band Architects. All right. So Architects, to give you the rundown on things and why these guys are awesome. So first off, they're a metalcore band from the UK. They have some freaking awesome riffs, awesome lyrics. They kill it. Just all around awesome freaking band. Where things go from just run of the mill band to incredibly awesome band is diving kind of deep into the backstory of them. With this band, it was started by two members, these twin brothers. It was Dan and Tom. I think Dan was on the drums, Tom was on the guitar, and these two twin brothers decided they wanted to start a band together and built things kind of up from scratch and stuff like that. Been putting out some freaking awesome CDs. Back a couple of years ago, the one brother, Tom, who was on guitar, ended up getting cancer. I think it was like stage 4 melanoma, if I remember correctly. Tom was a big part of the band's writing. And so the lyrics really, it's hard to even really describe it. But just the amount of power and emotion that went into some of these songs when you're hearing the words of a man that is literally dying, that has months left to live, but he is pouring out everything that he has, in his music is incredible. I mean, listening and really listening to this music. This isn't music that you put on when you're at the beach and you just want to have a good time. Like, this is some really powerful stuff,
Angry music.
Ends up in 2016, Tom dies. The band continues on doing their tour and everything. They want to kind of do what they can to keep him in memory. So they pick up someone to kind of tour with them and play. The reason I'm bringing them up right now as the band of the week is they have a new album that is going to be released in November. I think November the 9th. I lost my page where I had that saved. Anyways, they released a statement saying that they have either like portions of clips or full songs done by Tom that they were able to grab from the studio that they have on the new CD. So even though he passed away in 2016 and they didn't even start working on this one till 2017, I think, that Tom is on every single song on their new CD. And as a fan, like seeing them bring that back up, it gets me like deep down. I don't know. I want to kind of open it up to you guys because Jack, I know that you've listened to some Architects, so you can kind of give your 2 cents, and we'll see if we can get Luch listening to them by the end of the night. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, Josh, fun fact, I have listened to the Architects per your recommendation.
Okay.
Through our Discord, and I like them. They're a cool band.
Cool. He used the word cool. You only use the word cool when you don't know what else to say because you don't really like something.
They are groovy.
Okay. Listen, I will definitely echo Josh's sentiment as far as them not being for everybody. As far as echoes, I mean, they're very, very heavy. If you're not into heavy music at all, it's definitely gonna be something that's very grating. I have to even at some points look up the lyrics just so I can understand what they're saying. But lyrically, like when you actually do get into what the point is or what what he's trying to get across in the lyrics, it's definitely something that you can listen to for specific reasons or for specific therapeutic things, whether it's a situation or just a mood that you're in. One of my favorite songs is Gravedigger, which I'm sure Josh can echo that. A song about just today's politicians and just the people in power and how they abuse and how they just trample everything, and it's just a very heavy song when it comes to the kind of oppression that a lot of people are in all around the world. And I know I can't really use that word in the same way as other people can, but yeah, it's so that song for me is definitely something that's, very, very powerful, especially with what's going on in the world today. But yeah, the Architects,
Oh yeah,
their
so
newer stuff,
CD, that's
both new
coming out.
songs are on
It's
Spotify,
called Holy
are
Hell.
just
I think
excellent.
it is November the 9th that one's going to be coming out. They have 2 singles. One is called Royal Beggars. That one is a banger. And then their other one is called Hereafter. Both of those, yeah, you can get them on YouTube, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, like with these guys, so much of the music that I kind of grew up listening to, there's a lot of like angry, punk metals. There was just so much angst, when you were growing up, teenager, that you didn't know where to place or whatever. And so it was easy to kind of get into these kind of bands. Like Architects is still throwing that stuff out there, but they're throwing out the kind of stuff that, I'm not mad at my parents, I'm not, mad at this or that. Like the kind of stuff that they're fighting for and fighting against and everything, like you said, the oppression, the corrupt politicians, people hurting the environment, cancer, like, oh yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of Rage Against the Machine in the
that's
90s.
the kind of thing that like
that's what it reminds me
I
of.
can
That's
get
a- that's a
behind.
great- yeah, I like
at
that. I like
the
that
age of
comparison.
33, this is the kind of stuff that hits me and that I feel passionate about. Seeing friends and family members having to fight cancer, and
Yeah, agreed.
you have a person that went through it, did not survive it, but wrote songs along the way of his battle going through it. That's some powerful freaking crap. And I'm telling you, so go out, check out all of their CDs.
Yeah, agreed.
Give it a chance. We already have, so Jack's favorite, he said, was
Architects.
Gravedigger. I would have to say my 2 that I would recommend. Of course, the new ones, both Hereafter and Royal Beggars off the new CD, are fantastic. I think some of my old school personal favorites, or I guess not too old school, they were off the last CD, were both the Nihilist and Gone with the Wind. Both of those, anytime I hear them, dude, it gets cranked up. And I rest my case.
Agreed. Boom. That's it. Artist of the week. You guys can't do it like me.
Hey.
No, you can't do it like me. Yeah, so that about wraps it up. Luch, why don't you take us out? Just take us off into the sunset, my friend. That was the final boss.
That was. And guys, congratulations on making it through level 3 of the bonus level podcast. As we'll just keep going down further next week at level 4. Be sure to find out more about the podcast through our social medias. You can find us anywhere from Twitter to Instagram, also on YouTube. We will be getting that Facebook up here shortly as well to make sure that's going. But please, give us a nice follow there on Instagram. Give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the podcast. But we just, we'll keep cranking it out for you guys as long as you keep enjoying it. I know that all 3 of us enjoy doing it for you guys because we're good friends and we have a great time doing this.
That's it. We definitely enjoy hanging out. And again, thank you if you've made it this far. Thank you for making it this far through level 3. You defeated the final boss, as Luch said, and we will look forward to seeing you on for level 4 next week. Again, like you said, make sure if you're listening to the podcast, you can find us. You can tell us you can tell your friends, your family, your pets. Give them something to do when you're at work. Put on the podcast, whether it's on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Castbox, wherever you like to listen to, and whatever is most convenient for them, of course, because pets come first.
I'm just imagining when you said that, just like a random person, they're having a nice little dinner party at their house, and then they put the podcast on the background, and everybody's like, what the hell did these people just put on the radio? What is this that we're listening to right now?
It's all about the ambiance, my friends. And again, once again, thanks for joining us. And for me, Josh,
Later,
and
taters.
Luch, we'll see you next week, right?
Have a good night, guys.